Back to TV on the radio with TV's Jerry.
You got a towel, man? It's kind of hot out here, man.
And Creamy D.
Why don't you purify yourself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka?
On 107.7.
Game. Blouses.
The Franchise.
Joining us now, our good friend Derek Parker of Thunder SI to break down what is tonight's showdown between the Phoenix Suns and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Derek, I'm going to ask you something that I don't think you can answer. I ask questions a lot like that, which is fun. Do you think Kevin Durant's going to get traded before the trade deadline tomorrow?
It's looking like a real possibility. I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire. It seems the Warriors, I think it's so funny because you see Luka Doncic get traded. It was a shadow deal. The other 28 teams had no idea. So the Golden State Warriors option was, well, we'll just ask about absolutely every single All-Star in the NBA. You have to tell us whether he's available or not. So it seems like maybe when they reached out to Phoenix on this, that Phoenix wasn't totally keeping that off the table. So it's a possibility. I don't think it would probably happen today. It would seem like something that would be closer to the actual deadline at 2 p.m. tomorrow, but it seems like there's a chance.
Are you frustrated by his lack of availability for Oklahoma City games? This would be game number 7 that he would have played here. Instead, it's listed as doubtful. I mean, I guess theoretically he still could play, but are you frustrated by his lack of availability for this return? And if so or if not, I mean, either way, I'm kind of curious. Do you still feel like he should be booed by Thunder faithful?
I'm not necessarily frustrated by the availability. I mean, some of it is legitimate injuries. He hasn't been the absolute picture of health in recent years. I mean, he's still playing at an elite level and all-star starter level, but we can't blame it all on the fact that he probably doesn't want to take the court at Oklahoma City, even if that is true. And then should he be booed? Do whatever your heart feels, man. I don't care. If you want to boo him, boo him. If you don't want to boo him, don't boo him.
What if I want to boo Devin Booker? I mean, I look like an idiot. So, I mean, it's just kind of in that same vein there, Parker, that if you want to boo Kevin Durant, I mean, listen, I don't know. I'm more familiar with your situation than other people, but I don't know what past relationships you had. But if Stacy, who you dated in high school, like walked by in a Burger King, are you booing her?
That's funny you mentioned that. I was in Crest the other day and saw a former Flame, and I just started booing right there. The cashier was shocked.
I hope you threw some cereal at her, like a box of marshmallows.
Who buys crunchy peanut butter? Boo!
I certainly wasn't at the cashier for that. I can tell you that right now.
I just listen. I had to work that day. I'm old enough where I actually had to work that day, and I'm over it. So I think it's time that people sort of figure it out. And I had fun with the pre-application that is Twitter yesterday. I had fun with the thought, if there are legitimate people that are going to be contenders for Oklahoma City's West spot this year, going after him, I mean, why wouldn't you just ask to see what it would take to get him? Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, you could always do your due diligence. I don't think at this juncture the Thunder probably have their sights set on adding Kevin Durant back, but that is the unique opportunity that this team has, is that they could. I mean, they've got the assets. They've got the future draft capital. They've got the prospects in probably like a Cason Wallace, a Jalen Williams. It's theoretically doable. Again, I don't think they probably want to. Why mess with a good thing, as we've talked about several times on here, but it is possible.
Derek Parker's our guest here on 107.7 The Franchise. As for the game itself tonight, Thunder SI, by the way, to me, it feels like this is one of those games where Oklahoma City should handle their business. I mean, you're looking at a Phoenix Suns team that's, they did play Durant, they played Beal, and they played Devin Booker against Portland. They still lost 2 straight. I feel like this is a game where Oklahoma City should handle their business. And quite honestly, Derek, I'm kind of tired of, I feel like we got like a peaking early NBA season, if that makes any sense, because Oklahoma City, I was actually pumped for the Bucks game, ready to see that, and then the rug gets pulled out from underneath all of us, and we don't get to see anybody play against OKC. Now Durant's not going to probably play tonight. I mean, you're looking at all this stuff. Like, sure, it'd be great to watch Oklahoma City play a full, I don't know, half of healthy basketball. But it seems like we're just limping to the All-Star break, and I'm kind of losing interest on the backside of this because I feel like everything was the big test for OKC early.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I think we peaked a little bit early, and like you said, limping to the All-Star break is probably the right punctuation there. But I think after the dust settles from some of these bigger trades, after we get a little bit of rest on the table, and we can kind of step back and take a look at who's where, who's surging, who's falling behind, who's going for picks, who's going for the playoffs, I think we'll probably hit our stride again. I mean, even the Thunder alone are getting some guys back. These teams should start to ratchet up. Some are going to be pushed into that legit contender status with these trades. So it definitely feels like all of us are limping towards that All-Star break, media included, fans included, players included. But I think it should offer a nice little reset as it does every year, and we can hopefully get that magic back right after.
All right, let me ask you this then. Everybody's with their additions, and you kind of alluded to it, and you'll answer right there. I have a Chet itch that needs to be scratched. When will I be?
That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird.
When will I be able to itch my Chet?
What?
Scratch my Chet. Right.
I mean, this is a tough one to tackle. There's so many different angles I could go here. I would bet that you'll be able to itch it in late February or at the latest early March.
Okay.
Have you been watching the videos, Parker? I mean, have you seen? He dunked.
It's called a return to play protocol.
I'm talking to
Derek. Cover the NBA a time or two.
Talking to Derek Parker right now, not you, haircut.
Sorry.
But you've seen it. And then, too, you look at it, and Caruso looks like he's going to be back. Case and Wallace on the shelf. I do the Oklahoma City Thunder probably have some more. They have a little bit more of an injury problem than maybe people will give them credit for.
Yeah, the team certainly has not been shy with injuries. Has not been shy about its injuries so far this season. But that's the beauty of its depth, is that it's been able to maintain its status as a contender and as the number one team in the West just due to that. I mean, they've got so many guys that can fill in. You see Aaron Wiggins come in and score 40 however many points. You've got Isaiah Joe that can pop off on any given night. Even players like Ousmane Dieng are starting to add some production here and there. Dylan Jones can come in and give you some spot minutes. So it's interesting. They're not the healthiest team in the league, but they're also not the worst in that regard. And I think, again, the All-Star break should offer a reset for some of these more ticky-tacky injuries, opposed to, obviously, the longer-term ones are what they are. Players like Alex Caruso probably are just going to deal with those. He's dealt with those for the last several years. But these guys that have the little more ticky-tacky stuff hopefully will have that nice long week to get healthy.
Derek Parker's our guest here on 107.7 The Franchise of Thunder SI, where you can find his excellent work. Looking at Aaron Wiggins and the way he's played, I mean, it's just, if there's a stan on this team that I like root for, it is that dude. Like, if there's a guy that on this roster I'm big into, it's Aaron Wiggins.
Are you a simp or a stan?
Yes, just all the above. Pick your wording. I don't even care anymore. But this dude has just like stayed ready through the entire process. I go back to this too. I feel like you can't trade this guy. I just feel like with the way that they're wired and constructed right now, you can't mess that up short of getting like a Chris Middleton, which Washington plans to keep. You know, like I think a free agent move like that would work, but you can't trade anybody, especially Wiggins.
Yeah, I mean, Wiggins is just so versatile. Even when you're looking at some of the bigger trade chips across the league, few of them can really do what Aaron Wiggins does in terms of his just chameleon-esque ability to do whatever the Thunder needs. I mean, if you need a bench scorer who can create off the dribble a little bit, you've got him. If you need a wing defender who can go and guard one of the best players on the opposing bench or even on the opposing starters, you've got him. You've got a guy who can pass, who can do all these different things. And if you need him for 3 minutes a night, he's there. And if you need him for 37 minutes a night, he's there. So I don't think the Thunder has any intention of letting a guy like that go, especially on the cost-effective contract that he has. I would imagine that Aaron Wiggins will be on the Thunder past Thursday's deadline and long after that as well.
Looking at the Luka trade from a Thunder scope, does that help or hurt Oklahoma City's chances to get by Dallas in the playoffs?
Ooh.
Hey, this isn't just your normal everyday podcast question, pal. We're playing with big boys here on the radio.
Hey, he thinks he's in a congressional hearing right now where he gets to pepper you with questions and say like mean things and then, force you into answering stuff. That's what he's doing.
I feel like Jerry just operates his life that way almost.
It's probably fair.
I would
answer the question, SI kid.
Honestly, I would say it helps Oklahoma City's chances of beating Dallas. And I know that's probably a little unpopular given that Dallas's primary thing it had over Oklahoma City was the size, was its center depth, and it got way better than that in adding Davis. But this Mavericks roster previously was really designed around Luka Doncic. I mean, it's not that great without the creation ability he had, without the elite, all-time, unprecedented scoring ability that he had. You've got these guys that really thrive off of him. You've got Derek Lively, who thrived in the pick and roll with Luka Doncic. You've got P.J. Washington, who is at his best as an ancillary scorer off of Luka Doncic. So I don't think that Anthony Davis necessarily adds that. I mean, you saw the Thunder's game plan against them was cover Luka as much as possible and let everyone else do the work. That's probably not going to work when it's just Kyrie and Anthony Davis. So I lean that it helped Oklahoma City in the West.
Derek, I have to know, because I'm just curious. This is like one of my favorite things to ask folks. Where were you when you heard this trade for Luka and AD, and what was your reaction, and is it the craziest trade you've ever, or most shocked sports moment you've ever had?
I was sitting on my couch watching television. I saw the announcement. I put my phone down thinking, that's not real at all. I got about 45 text messages. I called my partner, Nick Crane, who I believe will be on here next week. Shouts to him. And I said, there's no way this is real, right? And he said, it's real.
And it's spectacular.
I knew you were going to say that. I'm so annoyed. Sorry, continue. My bad.
And then is it the most shocking? Probably so. I mean, I couldn't believe my eyes, my ears, my smell. I walked around for hours afterwards, just pacing. I think I stayed up till 3, 4 in the morning. I was just doom scrolling.
What? I'm sorry. What is doom scrolling?
It's just you keep scrolling. You keep at the phone, the iPhone. Jerry, do you have an iPhone?
I do. I gave up my rotary phone for an iPhone a couple months back.
Okay. Yeah, it's where you can't pull yourself away from it. You just keep scrolling the headlines. You just keep at the information surge.
Okay, that's I'm sorry you do that. That's a sad existence. But
hey, I've got a question for you two. Really, just one of you.
I like this.
Sure, yeah.
When are we going to get Creamy D back in Paycom Center? I think we got him for the Celtics game. When's the next time we get a Creamy D appearance?
Man, I don't know. A lot of that has to do with stuff out of my control in terms of scheduling, but I hope soon, because I do miss you guys, and I know that the amount of amazing basketball knowledge and wisdom that I possess for all of you young folk out there is very, very important and vital to your success as a broadcaster and writer, correct?
100%.
I knew it. Hopefully soon, though, for real. It's been far too long. I always enjoy those days.
Super overrated. All right, so after trade deadline, look at the West there. Who is going to be the biggest pain in the butt going into? Because last year, nobody predicted that Dallas was going to be the best team of the West after trade deadline. You look at, other than the Thunder, who has the potential to jump up there and take the West?
I think it's almost certainly going to be Denver and Nikola Jokic. I think he's continuing his unprecedented run as a top whatever player. I think he really, really hurts the Thunder's game plan in terms of they like to double those stars. He's probably the best in the league at averting that, passing out of that, getting it to his guys who, if they get hot, they're a really, really tough team to beat. So it's kind of a perfect storm of I really, really don't think Denver is a phenomenal matchup for Oklahoma City. They're getting hotter than they were earlier in the season, so probably not a team OKC wants to see in the postseason if they can avoid it.
Derek, good stuff, man. We appreciate the time. Be well. Enjoy the contest tonight, and we will chat with you hopefully soon. I know you said Nick will be on with us next week, but hopefully we'll chat with you soon, my friend.
All right, guys. See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
Derek Parker joining us here on The Franchise. Take a quick break. When we back,